Welcome, viewers. This is WaDidJa. As what did you do? What did you think? And what did you know about proto skin details and the emotes? I'm telling you, what did you know? There is some really important information I'd like to discuss about them and to highlight. Uh, I think the proto skins and the emotes that Digital Streams brought to the table and introduced within the Warframe lore and concept are phenomenal. Um, so the if you haven't gotten them or want to, they are available in the shop. Um, you can get them with platinum, or you can get them as a bundle through um, you know PlayStation Store or wherever your system is. They have the bundle, which I went ahead and got, and then you can, of course, get them individually. Each one comes with the skin and the emote. Now, this isn't a promo for. The point of it is just to explain the nature of them and where you get them, just in case somebody didn't know real quick. But yeah, the proto skins here are super awesome. The concept is phenomenal. And, as soon as I got one, I was like, okay, let's go ahead and see what's up with it. And that's where, interestingly, my debacle started in my excitement, of course, with the skin. Now,
Operator,
when you have a
meeting.
Warframe, basically you just go in
mission?
and you find the skin that you're looking for right here within the selection plate. Once you get the skin and try it on, realize that some questions are thereby going to pop into your head about, oh my goodness, this looks fantastic, number one. But, more importantly, what can I customize? And when you go into customize the skin, you'll see, of course, your customization options, the presets that you can select for yourself. But you will notice that if you just throw it on a Warframe that you own, you're going to notice that it's going to be recolored. And you're like, okay, well, what needs to be recolored? Basically, a good pro tip here is to go through your options here and select default for everything. Um, Hold on, let's see here. Let me move my image. But definitely you want to go ahead and select default on all of your options here, but also to, very importantly, go to attachments for the Protoframe Gemini skins. Even if you think you don't have attachments on the Warframe that you have in the slot, still go to attachments and hit default on all colors, because that's another important point. That when it comes to just throwing this on, and you look at the colors and everything, and you may decide to want to redo them, like I said, make sure you go ahead and hit this, because essentially this is also to where you have other aspects of recolor for the skin. And this, to me, is a very first in that situation in Warframe, in my experience, in over 9.5 years. Standardly, when you buy a skin for a Warframe,
Ready to ride.
For example, here's this say Tenno Gen skin for the Warframes. The community can make these skins based off of the default skin of Excalibur or whatever Warframe that they wish to design. But when you put on a normal skin, all these options here are your options for recoloring the entire skin. When you go to attachments, nothing has skins on it. There's never been a skin with attachments built into the skin. If you go in and select an attachment, now you have an attachment that can be recolored. But without an attachment on it, and you hit say random colors or whatever, because you see there's nothing changing on the Warframe whatsoever, not even the lighting. But the thing is with the Gemini skins here, when you go to attachments and you hit, say random colors to see what it's going to give you, lo and behold, these places that you see colors changing on the skin beyond this area here, as far as your what normally would be everything, you have in attachments areas that can be recolored. Oops, did I hit something wrong? 1 second here. I was hitting default, my bad. You have random colors that can be reassigned. So let me just check something real here where I go ahead and cycle through so you can see this a little bit better. But also too with this here, it also, not only are we getting colors on pieces that you would think would be part of the just base of the skin, that these are attachments, but as you see on the upper back here, these colors are also too affecting the lighting on the skin. Default, and then you start randomizing it. So this is just, to me, phenomenal. And I did not realize this at first, and it led to a straight debacle as to what the heck was going on, and why was I so confused as to why my skin wasn't changing colors. Because I pushed the skin on, and things look fine. Then I place it on another Warframe, and I'm like, well, why is it now different? And like it was, I had to try several other different Excaliburs that I have in my inventory.
They don't stand a chance against us.
Before I realized like what was going on with all this. Like, let's see what we think. No.
Well,
yeah.
What kind of hellscape adventure are we on today?
By going through my different Excaliburs that I've had through the years and the different builds and blah, 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 I realized, oh my goodness, something's changing in here that's not a loadout bug. Because there's been loadout bugs before with these things, but that's not the case at all. You just need to make sure you go to attachments and then hit your, recolor or change your colors if that's what you want to do. Hang on, it's checking the volume. Okay, we're good. So, I don't know. It's a very unique situation. And then on top of that, if you actually are using Excalibur Umbra, realize that the prime details that you can toggle on and off wouldn't tip you to the point that they're extra attachments that could be changing colors if you, say, got the skin and started, changing things, the attachments, or what you would think may be some kind of attachment. That's not the case because, like I said, the prime details that you toggle on or off are attached to the main colors. So it's very easy to overlook this point and be severely confused and think that there's some kind of glitch or bug or something weird going on that does not give you the default look. Plain and simple. So, the thing is, when you get the skin, another question that's going to pop into your head is like, well, if you're like myself and you're like, oh, I want to go ahead and throw it on all my characters here, you can do that and actually come out and go ahead and like, oh, I want to check out the emote. So you go to the emotes, and then you actually have to, once you purchase the skin, go to your emote wheel and place your emote in here for the character that you bought, or all of them, as I did here. And that's kind of cool too. I'll show you as we go on here that you can actually select any of the emotes with any one skin, and you'll actually receive all the animations on corresponding to it, but with the skin that you're wearing as far as the Gemini skin. But yeah, you come out, you go ahead, hit your emote, and go through the animation, which is phenomenal. I love it.
Ready to
And,
ride.
you know, you'll be like, oh, wow, here's the default skin. This is phenomenal. Okay, so you actually transform into author, right? And, oh, I can't customize this when I transform into this. You could possibly mistake that point, but that's not the case. This only happens if you have in each loadout slot the author Gemini skin selected. If you do not have the author Gemini skin selected in each loadout slot, as more oftentimes, you know, as you know, I normally would not, you know, you'll get a different result from what you just saw. So, you know, if you come out, you know, you're wearing a Warframe, and this may, you know, and this is typically what you see demonstrated, and what I guess maybe they only intended. I don't know. And the option that I just showed you, why does it keep doing that? Is not not intended or a happy accident. I don't know how you want to look at it, but normally when you have a Warframe, you select the Proto Armor, you know, emote, you go into the animation, you transform into the guise of the Gemini skin, but you have your customization set. Now, if you have, and the thing is, it's going to choose first your very first slot here. So like for myself, if you have any other of your presets as your Warframe that you transform into the proto skin with, as I did with this loadout preset F, you know, this preset F, the game's going to go to the first preset that has a Gemini skin. In this case, it's A. And it's going to show me A as, you know, what I turn into. But if I go into, but if you have a Gemini skin in every other preset, all of the, if you have a Gemini skin in every preset except one, you can then select which version of the Proto Armor skin to turn into. So let me start over and demonstrate.
Excellent armaments, operator.
I'll go into
Please
here,
covered in blood.
press the Proto Armor skin. I'm going to change into what you saw was A.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, baby, all day. Go into here. Now the thing is the game as it's showing you is going to say, hey, this is the Warframe your image you're choosing. But because there's this weird oddity with the emote, by having every single preset with a Gemini skin, you can now go in and go, oh well, instead of having because the emote's going to want to by default find a Warframe to seemingly within game lore transfer author to you to turn into him. Okay, so the game's going to, if I go in and go, okay, out of all these other offers, make sure all of the other presets have offer. I want him to turn into his default look. I don't want to have my custom version. I want the default look. Select the default look that's attached to the preset, even though this loadout, and you know, just to clarify what a loadout is, these are loadouts right here. You know, you can construct one for yourself. They have free slots. You can buy more, whatever. Whether you have one or not, it's going to look at this here as your loadout. Now you can go ahead and save it here. Nevertheless, within this loadout, you will have however many presets you want to attach to it. And again, the emote's going to find first your Warframe. Then it's going to ask itself, well, what skin is attached to it? If you do not attach a Gemini skin to your preset loadout, as I don't have it now, it's going to go to the first one that it finds in your presets with them all attached except one. Now, when if say that you want to change which preset it's selecting within this preset, with this Warframe, with that one Warframe, you know, so in that preset of options, scroll over to the one that you want. So now I want this Warframe to change into this guise of author. And as you see, when you come out, you're going to look like author. You're like, well, that's not quite what I was thinking. But the thing is that, you know, it's a happy. It just pay attention. It's okay, because watch, when you, this is a way to transform from the Gemini skin to the Warframe, or change from the Warframe into the Gemini skin. But essentially, it's going to initially look at it as changing the Gemini skin into the Warframe. But the to and from, and the from and to are important because of how you switch back automatically when you change instances. But let me show you how you can go right back to your Warframe in this way. I don't know. Hold on. It's a quick way to get to the. There we go. So as you see, I changed back to the Warframe because now the preset sees this as what it wants. Okay, so if you leave it like that, like I said, now you have this preset attached to that Warframe image. And of course, you can change that Warframe into whatever other customized version you desire. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, that's changing from your default to a Warframe. Again, I'll select this one to be the one that I change into. So it's sort of like this is a 1999 version of, per se, the Warframe Excalibur Umbra. So boom, I go back to Umbra, but yet I have the guise of this 1999 author Protoframe Umbra.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, so but again, the to and from and the from and to are important. So say you're thinking to yourself, oh, okay, and you can tell how the game's going to interpret that by how it's going to see the preset. So say I select a different preset, Lettie. I mean, and all of what I'm explaining applies to all of the Gemini skins, okay? Regardless of which character I'm demonstrating all this with you on. Like I said, by having one Warframe in a slot and then all the other presets, thinking that it has, showing that it has a Gemini skin in it. When you select the preset, if you selected the choice of which author you want to change into, it's going to look at it as you are author, okay? Now transforming into a Warframe. And I hope that made sense, because it's important. So now if I'm, yes, I can switch back and forth. And this kind of ties into role play. This ties into fashion framing. Ties into, who's prime, so to speak, and who's secondary. And let's just go ahead and go to 1999, because the back room in 1999 is a good place because you can go in and out of an instance. In other words, the situation in which you're in is changing. If you go to the relay, for example, that's one instance. It doesn't change, but actually it can, depending on, say, if you go into the training area or anything else like that. But just let me show you what I'm talking about. So like I said, going from the orbiter to the base here was another example. See how when I spawned in, or he transported in, he's back to author, who can now transform into a Warframe. All right. So that's kind of important depending on how you're sort of role playing the situation. All right. And for me, it confused the fuck out of me. I was like, wait a minute. Maybe I just want to have this Warframe and then select which version I want. The game's not going to do that. What it will do is if you go, okay, well, you want a different version of author to change to other than this, then just change this. But you can't kind of save multiple ones in that regard if you wanted to do that. If you do if you do that, because like I said, if so say you have your Warframe and you go, okay, well I have well, let's just say in my D slot I have a whole nother Warframe that I like to roll with. You know what I'm saying? And you then decide to want to use the emote. You'll find yourself in another sort of quandary of a circumstance. So say you're running with more than just 2 Warframes in your loadout, and you equip this here. All right, the same thing's going to happen that I mentioned before. It's going to, let's see, let me show you. It's going to do this. And don't think that you can transform and go into the inventory and select which version. Like I said, it's not going to do that. The game's going to think you're now running around as which other version of author you think you want it to transform into. And it's not going to cycle through to other Warframes. It's not going to, or rather, presets that you have. It's just going to go to whichever one you selected as what your loadout interprets as primary or Warframe number 1. That's all it's going to do. And when you go into inventory or your arsenal, that's a good way to know which version the game is thinking that it is primary. But like I said, it's whichever one you select. It's kind of a simple answer to it. But because you transform with the emote and you go back into your arsenal, and then it changes back to the other image, it could confuse you. It confused me at first as to what all was going on. So yeah, like I said, the game's interpreting that. So hopefully I've made that clear. Hopefully that saves a little bit of any confusion you may have had, or can help you explain what somebody else may be going through if you see them in a relay. Because it happened to me. They were like, "Oh, how did you get your straps to change on on your proto skin?" Because most of the time when somebody throws this skin on, their character, 9 out of 10 is sort of like they only have the normal colors that you might want to associate with the Warframe redesigned, okay, in some way. And they're like, oh man, how come I can't change the straps? You never know, especially if you didn't have attachments on, that these colors could change. And if you did have attachments on and liked them and didn't think to change the colors, you wouldn't realize that you could change any of this. So I wish they gave us some details and some explanations, like, or something like that when you go to purchase these skins, as to, what the real difference between these Protoframe skins are and normal Warframe skins, because to me they're vastly different. They're vastly superior in the detail. I believe this is the direction they're going to go in with our Tenno as far as redesign and rework. I really do hope so. But it's unprecedented to have attachments on the Proto Armor skins which change colors. And just to kind of give you a further example of that real quick, like, Nick's Eleanor, for example, same bag. You have to go to attachments to change what's going on with her outfit. So I'll go to default colors. And so, like I said, I all of them, I was like, oh, certain loadouts look like it's done this, and certain loadouts, I thought it was a loadout error issue. I thought like, oh man, you can't recolor her ass. Oh, that's just messed up, or her rear, excuse me. But yeah, not the case. So not to beat a dead horse in the foot, but yeah, this is what's up with the Gemini skins and the kind of direction you can go in and versatility you have in role play with or fashion framing in regard to what you can and cannot do. Let me just make sure that I covered certain points. Recolor. So, right. Yeah, I really do hope I got all my points out. If there's something else extra, I'll definitely add into the description. I'll go ahead also too, and if it felt like it's really necessary, do a more consolidated, scripted out version with the holidays. 2-year-old son. Matter of fact, I got to get to him as soon as his nap is over shortly. It's a bit much. So, like I said, I hope I broke it down as best I can. The last point I want to make, and I believe I did make it to begin with. Right. Like I said, I covered the point of, just to recap, if you have an Excalibur in, an Author Gemini skin in each one of your presets. As far as an option, what that can do for you as far as role play or enjoyment of the Gemini skins. And like I said, when you go into helmets, you're not going. If you have a Warframe selected, you won't see the Gemini skin. That's another thing that's odd. You actually have it's not a helmet. There is no separate piece to the skin. The helmet, the body, and attachments are all rolled into one. Pay attention. And it comes with an emote that you have to go to the emote wheel and place it in. But again, if you have more than one of the Gemini skins, equip all of the emotes. The reason why in being is that which is fantastic is that regardless of how many different Gemini skins you have,
My sword
how many different presets you have equipped with the Gemini skin, at any point in time you can select any of the emotes and use them and show the animation for your current skin. So I'm going to show this point together as far as having all your presets with a Gemini skin, and you go into your emote and you use the corresponding Gemini skin emote. You're going to change into the default guise of the Gemini skin, or what the NPCs run around wearing. The true version, the default version, however you might want to look at it. And that's all well and good. And another peculiarity about doing it this way is that, as you see, I have the Nidus Noble animation set for my character. But when I have all of the other presets with the same Gemini skin in it, and I transform, again, they go to the default guise, but yet they have a default animation as well. As if you truly changed to another character. Not that author has transformed into your Warframe. It's almost like he's switched places with your Warframe, but has your Warframe's abilities, because he has a completely different. Your NPC will have a completely different stance. And I'll show you with Eleanor. I'll show you. It's mad cool. So, like I said, Eleanor has it's Eleanor in every single loadout that I have slot. Like I said, this is how you get them. You get three free loadouts, three free presets, that you can save as loadouts. I believe you have free loadout slots to begin with too. Very friendly system. Nexon, I wish you took note on that shit. Love you, DE. Anyway, so go in, select all of the Gemini skins for Nyx, or Eleanor. Come out, have Eleanor's emote equipped, and you will transform into a default Eleanor with a default Nyx stance, Nyx animation stance. And you'll know which one it is because when you go into your Warframe and you go to your stances, it's going to be the first one selected. That's what the game's doing. So it's really cool, depending on how you might want to role play. And for me, anyway, envision how this whole thing's happening, or actually exactly what's happening. Is there to and from? Is there a from and to? And then which version of that from and to is coming into play? So you can do this too with the custom situations. Of course, you can change, what the animation is to the Nyx skin that you transform into, or the Eleanor that you transform to, or the whatever Warframe. All that can be adjusted personally and customized to the presets. But when you do this version of this really cool oddity, you transform into the default version with the animation too.
We do make a sublime team, don't we?
And again, as I was stating earlier, you can transform, you can use the other emotes as well to enjoy. And it does not switch your character back to whatever guise that you have just transferred to, however changed to. So I'll transform back into, like I said, you can't, like I said, when you do it this way, like I said, it doesn't change you. You can't change back. You may remain in a default character state until you change instances or until you go back into your inventory. So you'll be in that default state until you do that. And so let that role play into your role play, as well. Here we have fast travel methods to get into the inventory. Most, certain situations you won't. There are a good amount that you do actually, though. So you could flip back and forth doing it that way, or just wait till you change instances and let it roll that way too. But realize that it kind of impacts the to and from, or the from and to part. So say if you're running around here, say you just want to enjoy the look of the other emotes, like and the effects. Hold on. You can do so. So here's Amir's, and so you stay in your current form when you do it that way too, which is cool. And this is Aoi's. This is Site09. Lettie. And you, Excalibur. So it's really neat. It's really neat. And like I said, that has nothing to do with how many presets you have with the Eleanor skin. You do that at any point in time. Just realize that if they are in every single one, and you go to transform, she's going to transform into
spectacular.
Transform into the default version, as I explained, the way the game wants to interpret it.
Just look what you.
So yeah, it's super awesome. Do what you can, and if there's any questions on this, please do let me know. It's a lot to take in my opinion, and it's really nice. Let's see here. Let me think. Let me see if I can show you, just demonstrate for you here with this. Because like I said, if you have one, just like to recap the other aspects, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything, like the fact of the animation going back to default with that. It really doesn't matter here. So it's like I said, so you come out of your inventory with your preset selected with a Warframe. The emote's going to interpret it as that's your 2, and Eleanor is now excuse me. The first is your from, and this is your 2. Right, Eleanor. In this version of Eleanor that you have in your preset is your customized version. Okay, and like I said, if you want that customized version to look like the default version, okay, you can do that as well. So and the way you would do that would be to basically have, let's see, let me just do something here. The way you do that is to go ahead and
just to improve the look.
Hold up. The way, just trying to show you some differences. The way you would do that is to, so a lot of times when you come into your inventory, you have just nothing but nexus. You'll go in and say, oh, I want my second one to go ahead and now have the proto skin. You'll see your options, realize your attachments can change colors, and hit refresh. Now, some people might not do that, but either way, when you do that, you come out, realize your preset now thinks it's Nyx, and you hit transform, you're going to transform into the first slot that has Nyx, and you'd be like, wait a minute, that's not maybe what I want. But what you can do, like I said, is select this is what you want, and you will now transform into Eleanor, and it's going to bring you to your next preset that you selected for Eleanor. If you, by some chance, again, did not have Eleanor equipped in any of your slots, because this is important too, could confuse you. So say you don't have Eleanor in any slot. Let's see.
How might I be of service?
I'm just sort of grabbing some different skins or something weird. And say you went ahead and say, oh, I want to try out the emote, because it is an emote after all. You may not, I don't think I have to have the skin on to enjoy the emote. Maybe I might just get a cool effect, right? This is what's going to happen. You're going to get a default version of the character.
Let's sow a little chaos.
As you would if you had all of your presets with a Nyx Gemini skin. But and the thing is, you'll see it go, oh man, wow, but I can't recolor it, because every time I go back to my arsenal, I'm seeing nothing but what's in my preset options. And so you go, oh, okay, let me select another Nyx. And go, okay, let me transform again. And I go, oh wow, that's, wait a minute, no, still default. Man, maybe you can't customize it. But you can customize it because you own the skin. But you have to place the skin in an inventory slot, in a preset, in order to enjoy it. Okay. And another thing too is, hold on. And another thing too is that, like I said, again, you can enjoy the other emotes as much as you want. Hold on, hold on, let me see something. What just happened?
Oh, thank the void.
Right, I should be getting. Why is it showing me her default? Hold on. That just looked weird. It should be showing me the first Nyx. Like it should. Oh no. Oh right. Oh, here's okay. If you don't have a Nyx in your first inventory slot, it's going to default. It's going to go to the default as well. It's not going to choose the next available Nyx. I may have misstated that in the beginning. It's only going to choose the first preset. I'll definitely go and recheck my timestamps. But yeah, it's like talking this out, man. It's like I would have even missed this point if I scripted it, or might not have even seen this point. So if you, so this is that's another way that would thing that could confuse you, and it's something that somebody could miss or be confused in being able to even interpret as to what the problem is. Okay, sincerely. So if you say run around with your C here, realize that if you want to change into Nyx or Eleanor rather, you can with the Gemini emote, but it's going to be the default version of her as the emote interprets it, with the default color scheme as well as a default animation. All right. And wait, let me just make sure I'll show you that, because I didn't have a different animation shit. Let's use what's her name? Damn it. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but okay, yeah, let's just do it this way. I'll go Nyx Agile, okay? So say you got Nyx Agile set, right? Go ahead and hit this. It's going to transfer them to the default. It's also going to choose the next available animation ship for Nyx, which is in this situation, the way it looked like it said none. It chose none this time. Okay, which is interesting. But yeah, basically the game's going to choose the first of what it interprets as available. Animation. In this situation is none, and I think it's because I chose the agile animation set. If I chose the noble, it looks like that's going to choose noble again. Let's see. And this is all because my A preset does not have a Eleanor skin in it, and I'm using the emote to transform into it. So this is Nyx Noble. Okay, this is Nyx Noble. But bottom line is, you see how the game wants to change your animation, and to me it seems it wants to choose the next available one in however it sees it. It could be none, or it could be a completely different animation stance, as you saw earlier. So, and okay. So if you choose, here we go. I figured it out. If you choose one of the first two that's attached to your standard Warframe, or the Warframe itself, these are all extras that you purchase. You can purchase any Warframe stance. But bottom line is, if you use any one of the standard two that come with your Warframe, it's going to choose none when you switch back to, what the game is going to interpret as a default Eleanor. But say if you choose any one of the other animation sets, it could be one that's attached to the Warframe, like for example with Excalibur, he's a lot of different versions of them, so there's a lot of different animation sets beyond the first two, like the Umbra, there's the Zato, you get my point. But so, and also too, if you choose any other Warframe animations and you come out of the inventory, with your first slot not having a Nyx, okay, an Eleanor, Gemini Protoframe skin, and you go to Eleanor, hit the emote, she's going to transform to the default
gloves on or off?
Nyx, Eleanor, excuse me, and she should have had one of the other two emotes. Oh, yes, she does. Does she? No? Is it the nun again? Interesting. Yeah, like I said, this is a peculiarity to me that I'm realizing has fluctuations to what it's doing. But like I said, it's going to choose the first one, either none or the next one next to none, which in this case which typically is the noble animation set. I'm surprised it's still choosing none. I noticed it doing that the other day, but I thought it might have been because it was a little wonky. And I thought that, like, well, when I go in here and then I hit it again, it went back to what I thought was a reliable point to what it's doing, which is using the noble animations, but it's not. Either way, I still use the point to my advantage when it comes to Fashionframe or role-playing, in that I'm changing from my Warframe to a variation, basically the default version of Nyx. Because, I mean, when they're the NPCs, you don't see them walking around and doing much, so you don't really know what their animation could be. So to me, this could be the default animation, versus having the situation where you now have a custom version, because the only way you can customize it is to go in and it has to be in your A. It has to be in your A slot. You go to the skin, because you won't find it in helmets. Select it. So if it's in your A, this is, like I said, going from your Warframe to a customized version of the proto skin. But if you want to have the default look, okay, like I said, you just choose the default colors for it, as I'm doing here. You just go back to the default colors. But so now I can change from this Nyx into my custom version.
Is this a social call?
Did I select it? Hold on.
Get a bit bloody.
Why is it only selecting the default? Oh, it's because, my bad. That's because I got the other two full of Nyxes. Right. So yeah.
So,
in order for it to choose A, in this, like I said, with typical people, they may just have free loadout sets. Don't have Nyx in every single one over here. So just choose the default. You need to go ahead and choose a different skin altogether. Okay. So now it should choose the custom version.
And who needs to meet their makers today, dear?
Why is it choosing? It's choosing. What version is that? Hold on. I tell you, it does such odd shit. And I thought I had all the answers for the oddities that I would come across, and it kind of be able to be a little bit more, concise and direct as to what the heck is happening with these proto armor skins. Because, like I said, it's a little confusing, because it's like I said, I haven't found anybody really accurately explaining everything. Now,
Enter Eleanor,
I'm trying to see why I'm not getting reliable results. And it has something to do with the order? trying to determine, will it choose a particular one? Doing it this way should give me the first loadout slot with an Eleanor.
How might I be of
There we go.
service?
Now it's doing what I thought it would do. So yeah, take care with how you arrange the loadout. Yeah, like I said, your loadouts with your nixes. I mean, with your, excuse me, Protoframe skin. Because it could impact how the game interprets your to and from and your from and to. You know, because like I said, whichever version you're transforming into is not the permanent version. The permanent version is consistent even if you go from one instance to another. The one that's coming to you, or the one it's transforming into, is the impermanent one. But let's see but see, the game will not.
One brief and somewhat tingly jaunt through space and time later.
The game, let's see if the game will take the C in this situation. Like I said, these animations will not change your form, which is cool. And you also too don't have to hear the character's voice. Let's see what this does. Okay, once again, predictable. Like I said, it's going to take the first one.
Mutilation.
What? Huh? Did you just... Why didn't the game want to remember the fact that I just changed this outfit? So if you do come across situations like that where it doesn't seem like it's remembering things correctly, which could throw you off and think that it's buggy, something obviously is off a little bit. Go back into your loadout and don't switch out to a different loadout, because for some odd reason when I did that earlier that didn't work. Just double click again on the build, I think. That's it, on the loadout, and then hit the emote.
Need me to give
Why is it
someone
still
a
remembering
tumble
her
action?
as this? That's weird. Look, she's not, that guise is nowhere, and we know that's not the default. I keep wanting to say that this isn't bugged, but it's hard to say that it isn't when you get mixed results in what you're doing. And I've been going through this debacle for a couple of days because I do think this is phenomenal what we have with these skins, but at the same time, it's like, for the point of role play and fashion framing, I'm not getting reliable results in what's going on. Because like for me, like the different things you can do with these Gemini skins lead to a whole host of cool ideas in my head for role play, or creating, doing little like mini series based off of a little idea I had that ties into the Warframe lore and universe. See, this is what, to me, this is what it's supposed to do. Excuse me. As I explained in the beginning, it's supposed to go to the next available preset that has a Gemini skin. It's not supposed to necessarily go to A. But realize if it does, if you see it doing that, that's not what it's supposed to do. And just, it looked like the best way to clear out the point, because like I said, I've cleared this point out where if it had an issue by just going into the loadout and clicking back into the same loadout. I've cleared the issue too, and if that doesn't work, you can also select another build, and just to be safe, and also go back in and select. I've seen it reset that way. But it looks like the safest bet is select another loadout, come out, go back in, and then select back, and you will get the result that I think either is intended or at least the result that's not the bug. I tell you, like I said, these skins, they're super awesome. I love the possibilities, but it's a little. I have these befuddlements and these confusing moments about what the fuck's going on. So like I said, as you saw here, we can go from this to our preset, which is in C. I mean, for the Nix that we want to change into.
I do so love to make an entrance.
If we want this Nix, or rather, the version we changed into to look exactly like the default character for whatever role play that we're doing, it's no problem. Just hit the default colors. Make sure you go to attachments as well. Change all the default colors back because that's part of the outfit standardly. It's nothing you can take on or off, but it's everything you can everything you do to customize. Go to your animations, select what animation you want for your default Nix to have. If you want it to have none, choose none. If you feel like your default Nix is floating, or is doing some shit like this, you know what I'm saying, like a Nosferatu, you can do that too. Go back to the say Prime or number 1 Warframe, the one that you're bringing your default Nix to. Go ahead and hit the emote. Cause I'm saying it on these different ways because these are different ways to interpret exactly what the fuck's going on. And then boom, you should have the customization options you chose. But again, is acting buggy. So if you see which should be an unreliable result, I'm glad this is happening on film. I swear to fuck, bro.
What's good, my G flexed biceps, medium dark skin tone, beaming face with smiling eyes.
Hey, what's happening, nation? What's up? Yeah, man, sitting here trying to give a little explanation video here about these Protoframe skins and the oddities that befuddled me. Because I swear to you, like the one that I just stumbled across has manifested, but the way it came about, I was like, oh, okay, this is all one problem. So yeah, it's something up with the game remembering what you have selected. Because right now, let me just demonstrate again. This is not what I have the game wanting for her to do. I changed the option of her stance that the game is supposed to change her into, but the game's not remembering. So I think the most comprehensive way to clear its memory is to select another loadout, come out of the arsenal, go back to what you want. As long as you have everything set right, there's no need to really deal with it. And you should be able to transform into your preset. Don't let me be a liar. There we go. So there's your default, if that's what you want your Nix to look like or be, or like, and she's got the Anaris stance on her. And again, so but if you want it to be, like I said, in the way the game has her laying on a couch, technically you don't really see what her animation could be, and if you want to role play with it like that, you can be free to do so. So now again, you can't change this beyond that. So say if you have again this loadout slot with Eleanor, and you're starting out here. Let's see what the game is going to decide. Hold on, let's clear the memory so that we can get a reliable result. That's another point to make. I'll put timestamps in about these points. So we clear the memory so we can get a reliable result of what the Gemini skin is supposed to do in this situation of having a Gemini skin in your A, because the game likes to pull on the first set of whatever's going on if there's an issue. If it thinks or is doing something odd for itself or maybe unintended, I don't know. And we all
folded hands, medium dark skin tone raising hands, medium dark skin tone sheet ECC peach tongue sweat droplets grimacing face lol.
Yep. Eleanor is all right. She's what's up in my book. Although with this outfit here, it sort of gives her a pinchy squinchy, and but she's mad cool. Either who, we're going to see what how the game's going to interpret our transformation with using this. In my opinion, the game's going to go to C. That's what it should do. But it might go to A. Let's go see. And it went to A. Again, like I said, that is what I explained in the beginning. But like I said, but that happens because you have, saying your Gemini skin on your A. So if you wanted to have this one, just make sure you go ahead, and you say you don't want to lose all your options, okay? Just leave your options as they are. Go ahead, select any one of the other body skins. It's going to change that along with the head skin, because like I said, the helmet, these Protoframe skins don't have helmet skins. And now it's going to choose this. But again, to be safe, to make sure you have a reliable result, switch out of your loadout, go back in, like I said, clear its memory, come out. Now again, we should choose C. Which is the desired look that we want to have in animation for Nyx. But like I said, we wanted to go with a default look. Again, if you don't want default look and you want something else.
I can see why Warframe and first Descendant fighting each other and going to war now lol.
Yeah, but definitely. I mean, but the thing is that Warframe needs to, they do a good job of staying competitive. And one other point that they need to, go ahead and stay competitive with is to further go forward with this concept. Also to be a little bit more provocative wouldn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because you can see the way the infestation comes across the skin in different ways. This could be canon, and they could give you some slightly other options to how the infestation has invaded the body, where you see other fleshy areas and other areas of the skin, kind of like with Iowa here, how you see the infestation creeping up on the skin on her hand. But it would be cool if you could see apparently this is like some kind of fabric, so maybe this skin area here is actually human looking, but if you had an outfit that was revealing just the flesh that was exposed, that would be very provocative, very cool. But yeah, back on track here for the and also too, as far as like Umbra, it'd be nice if they gave us loadout slots that could be assigned for Umbra, because you only get one. And like first Descendant, you can change the the mod socket type, or in this case here polarity types. But if we could assign more than one type of polarity type for Excalibur Umbra, that would be fantastic, because we only get one. Anyway, so yeah, to the point here that I was going through as far as Nyx and Eleanor and understanding your predictable results of things.
Thumbs up. Medium dark skin tone check mark button 100 points. That's superstar struck dope fire broyo.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. But yeah, outside of that, Nexon needs to take everything they can as far as the quality of customer service, the quality of the community, the quality of the product, the quality of its improvements, and storyline and versatility. Like, yeah, but like I said, Warframe is 11 years ahead of them, over 10 years. So that's what's up. So like I said, so to make sure that your memory is cleared for whatever thing you're about to try out after switching things around. Because like I said, the Protoframe skins seem to be a little quirky. I don't know, bug, glitch, whatever. Go back in so that the memory's clear. Go to what you're dealing with to test out the result of it. In this case, we want this to be what what she's going to change into. Come out, hit it. You'll see the expected result of that. Not a problem. It's like I said, and if you don't have one here, realize, like I said again, it's just going to always going to choose. It's always going to choose A. It's always going to go to A. And if you don't have one in A, and like I said, we're going to want to make sure we have a reliable result. We're going to come out, go back in, get her. Again, it's going to go to a default version, a color scheme of Eleanor, and then it's going to pick whatever it thinks the first loadout slot, first animation is supposed to be. Again, my most reliable results say that it's going to choose most likely the Warframe's noble stance rather than none. And for me, I wanted none as what the character was going to change into, so I did that on purpose for my author here. So like, I chose none here. So like, see how my author is set up? But and the best way to make sure I have none when I change back to my default author is to have none as far as the animation set. Because I'm about to do this series, and for that series, it's important for him to have none. I'll explain that in another thing. And because I'm gonna do a little behind the scenes before the series starts to help explain what's up with the role play I'm doing. So either way, when I hit none and I go to my default that I'm gonna run around with, to act like
together again,
has switched places, not just transferred, like a straight up. His physical form comes into play the same way your Tenno comes into play, in a very similar fashion. It's the way I'm running with it. But like I said, even switching out of your Tenno is not going to change you back to Prime, which is whatever your loadout slot recognizes as its skin. What happens is when you change, like I said, when you have all your default slots set up with your Protoframe skin, what happens is, like I said, it goes to a default look. And if you have the same animation that you want this default to have, it'll maintain the point. It won't maintain the point of it. It's going to choose the first animation set. And like I said, in this case, it's going to choose the Umbra noble animation set. It's always going to choose your noble animation set. That's the reliable test result. Once and if you want to make sure, you just go in, select another build, come out, come back in, go back to your situation, and then just run the test. And like I said, I want to switch to a default author with a different animation
watch your videos and I watched the one you saw eat something about the first Descendant skin is way too expensive and I 1000,0.
Yeah. See, like I said, Nexon needs to take another hand from Warframe 2 on not being too greedy about your money and your time. Warframe has struck a wonderful balance, in my opinion, of being profitable as a business, but yet not taking away the fun and enjoyment. And they just hit us with this 1999, man. Next, first sentence show all kinds of TNA that they want. I mean, I'm gonna still mess with it, but bro, I'm coming back home. That's all there is to it. So again, we want the reliable result of transforming into the default author with a different stance. But like I said, it's not so much he's replacing him. It's what's going to happen, the way that the game is going to interpret it, because you can't switch back. And to me, in a way, I'm kind of going to role play with my situation. That's cool. I mean, to me, there's a way to fix all this. And but let me show you how, if I leave the instance, the game now puts me back into into what the game interprets as prime. But like I said, because I have prime essentially in every loadout slot, and I go ahead and switch back to and use the Protoframe Genini emote.
This is an improvement.
It replaces prime with the default author, which is dope. Okay, in my opinion. But again, so I'm gonna run with this while this is, and because I don't know if they're going to change it. I don't know if it's intended. I personally would like for them to kind of fix whatever the quirkiness is and why the game doesn't seem to retain the memory of what option you have for what you want to do. But it would be fantastic if we could be, if we have a a Gemini skin, a Protoframe Gemini skin. The title is officially Gemini skin. But people kind of might get confused because there are other Gemini skins in the game for weapons and stuff like that. So I wish, they probably didn't want to be too lengthy, but specifically they're Protoframe Gemini skins. If you have a Gemini skin, a Protoframe Gemini skin in each one of your presets, we should, in my opinion, be able to select which skin our emote selects. The fact that it goes to this default look of author is unnecessary. Now it's necessary if they're not going to allow us to do this. Leave it like this, because it's kind of fun to be able to have fun with it like this. Okay, it really is. Have fun with the concepts of the game, because of all the things they have going on with the game, as far as like Fashionframe, its concept with the Very Paradox, concept with 1999, concept with with the murmur, even like leave it like it is. If you're not going to give us the ability to select which preset the corresponding emote for the Gemini skin, what preset the emote will choose. I feel like it's already there in the programming. All they need to do is and it's probably may take longer than just all they need to do. I get it. It's going to take time. It's going to take investment. But oh my God, bro, like they're going to get the money back. They're going to get the money back because the people going to want to go ahead and get proto armor skins for all their warframes. It's going to increase their versatility in role play and fashion framing. They're going to buy the color palettes to hook it up. You know what I'm saying? Because if we had a toggle, and I guess it would come into play because like when you select a normal skin, you have helmet and Umbra and body skin basically. All right. Hold on. Pourquoi? Hold on. Okay, there it is. Right. Just got confused for a second. Okay, yeah, right. It's because when I selected the Umbra skin, I was like, where's my toggle on and off for the prime parts? But it's because I'm not using an optional skin that you don't see the toggle prime parts on and off for. And like I said, that's another element too, which could make you think that, like I said, the Gemini skins don't have attachments that have colors. I explained that earlier too. But bottom line is, you come in, same way you have this extra, these tabs change. When you select the Gemini skin, there should be another tab in here that says toggle on pre-select for or it says, you know, emote preset, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Guys preset, something, anything like that, so that even if we don't have a Gemini skin in it, we can select it. And you, like, if we don't have, if like, say for example, we have this skin here, and we start out with this, and you know the other Geminis are set up in there, and we come in with our Gemini, so we're going to have our prime, our number one, as our Gemini. We should have a toggle switch to say set emote image or preset. Should be fine. That the corresponding emote for the Gemini skin is going to transfer you into whatever Gemini skin you select. If you don't select one, and say you in this toggle, it should get I guess it would have an expanding list from A to F, depending on how many presets you have, and you just, you know, say, you make sure you say toggle image, and then you hit the check mark. You have something to select. It pops up A, B, C through D or whatever. If B, for example, doesn't have one, and you select this and you come out, to me, it should do just what it's going to do right now. Should choose your Warframe. I mean, to me, it should choose the default. Excuse me. It should choose the default the way that it chooses the default now. If you have all Gemini skins, if you wanted to choose another Warframe, I don't know, maybe you won't want to do it that way. Trying to figure out how to advise implementing the point of choosing your own preset, but still give you these cool options. Yeah, okay. Best solution, simplest one. The preset for it, the toggle for selecting what your emote changes you into for the corresponding Gemini skin, and the Warframe attached to it. It's not like you can go in and choose any emote and start switching around, any Gemini emote switching around. Yeah, great. Take advantage of the animations the way they do, but have it toggle where you can select whichever preset you want for it. It's just that simple. So if you want to have a Warframe set for it, then fine. It's going to switch to this Warframe when you use the emote, coming from this to this. If you want to go from this to this, you start out with this as prime and select this as what your emote goes to. Again, if you want your emote to start you out, you know, look at this as prime, Great. That's how your loadout's going to see you when you spawn into the game, into a mission. And then you switch to this because you selected this as what you're going to for your emote. Gravy. You can role play that all day long. Because now you can also choose this, whatever it is, as prime that you spawn into and transform into this. Okay, and you can role play that to your heart's content. I mean, like off the chain. No limitations, no befuddlement. You're in like Flynn. And you'll have all these other versions that you could choose from. So hopefully I believe other people are going to be experiencing the befuddlement of what's up. And then also too, the oddity of this. Having all your presets with a Gemini skin because you like the options, you like the variety. And I mean, like I said, when you start out with the game, most people are probably just going to have like what you see here with Nyx, 3 or 4, right? You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? I got everything all sweet and pretty in my preset B. Man, I'm not going to go through the trouble of rearranging that shit. That'd be nice if we could slide our presets around or some shit, but you can't do that. But they're not going to go through the trouble of doing that. They're going to come in, they're going to slap on that Protoframe Gemini skin. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm in it. They're going to set that shit up like, They're going to come out, motherfucker. They're like, let me hit that shit. Let's get it on, because that's what I was doing. And they go like, oh, that's badass. I'm in like Flynn. But oh, wait a minute. I want my maybe I want my Nyx to look like a default Nyx. Oh, okay, let me set it up over here. Oh yeah, okay, boom, 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 boom. And you know, hopefully they didn't have my problem, and they're like, they high speed. They know they can go ahead and put on some default colors. They know they can go to the attachments and change it to the default colors. And oh my goodness, it's going to change the straps too, because you know, they didn't have my befuddlement. Like, what the fuck's wrong? They're going to come out and be like, I want this Nyx to transform into this. Oh yeah, okay. Will it do that? I don't know. They'll come out, hit the emote. Now notice I didn't reset shit. So who knows what it's going to do? You might get, you're going to get some unreliable results. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to run with this on my A. You know, it doesn't see the C. It doesn't see the C. How come it don't see the C? It only sees the A. And you're going to be like, okay, oh fuck it. I'm going to take off my skin so we can see my A, right? For my C. Maybe it's interpreted that way. It's going to go from so just sliding around as far as what it's seeing. What's it doing? Wait a minute, hold up. What the fuck? It's still showing what I just selected off. Oh, okay. You're going to be confused from here on out until you realize that you need to fucking clear out the memory. And there's other ways that it can, but it's not reliable. Best way is to go in, select a different build altogether. You don't have to run around and do it. You can do it real fast if you want. Come back in. Okay, and it's going to go to your next available Eleanor. Ta-da!
Spectacular.
That's how it's going to work. So yeah, like I said, I hope DE gets wind of what the kind of debacle and befuddlement that people could be in, not realizing that these skins have attachments on them that built in to the skin. It and if you do not have attachments on, you could miss that point. Yeah, it's missable. So you see how just these areas of the skin is changing, and like I said, and this is just, and you're like, oh my god, my skin isn't changing. No, go to attachments. It's okay. Take a deep breath, and then you can change the other colors, and lo and behold, the lights change on the skins. So yeah, I know I spent a lot of time on that because to me everything else is fucking obvious about it. You know, everything else is very obvious. Everything is like, you know, dandelions in springtime. Hold up. And you will realize that there's a lot that you can you know, right off the bat without having any help, realize you can change your hair color in various different ways. I mean, including like every single point here, even the energy color is going to change an element of his hair color. It's just super fly. I mean, how many different options you have when it comes to changing your customizations for these proto skins. And then with, like I said, Excalibur, Umbra, and if you have a prime that has, you can toggle prime parts on and off, that's even another layer of detail that's like stock to the character. At the moment of the proto armor skins, I believe that Excalibur Umbra rather is the only one that has prime details, and Umbra is not technically a prime, but they call his details or his armor pieces prime parts. Unlike the other primes, you know, like this prime, you know, she has prime parts that can toggle on and off. So like if we ever got an Elvira prime, a Protoframe Elvira, or it would probably state batch type, as they call it, Elvira, a Protoframe batch type Elvira. Of course, you would have some name like, you know, Rachel. But out of the other Warframes, they don't, like Nyx, for example. Nyx Prime does not have toggleable Warframe parts. Yeah. And of course, Site 09 doesn't have Warframe parts. But like I said, all these characters, you want to make sure that you know, hit default when you first equip it, so you can see what all's with the characters and their colors. So like if you had colors, just make sure you hit default, because that's where you're going to get your further customizations of that you would think aren't customizable. And also too, bear in mind that some of them have accents or attachments. Like Quincy has a hat here that you can take on or off, or you can switch it to one of these other auxiliaries. This is what they call an auxiliary accessory point. But for this gives him his hat. For Amir, which is the Vault batch type, he has, if you go to attachments, he has shades in his auxiliary that you can toggle, you know, on, you know, you select or not select. You can give him some rabbit ears. You know, he could be like the male bunny of, I mean, he is essentially the male bunny of that first, well, like this first Descendant bunny is the female version of Vault. It's more to the point, because Vault was here long before that bunny, and Vault would blow bunny out the water, bro. Like, you know, the way the abilities are manifested. So yeah, you could have a male bunny version. You take the attachments of the headgear. It's an auxiliary, basically, because if you hit none, it should say auxiliary selected. So these are auxiliary points for the proto skins as well. Depending on the proto skin, it's just so many things you can miss. Again, you can stylize his hair color too, all various different ways, and I'm trying to see, does the energy color change hair color for him too? Trying to find something decent, or something that would show up. Maybe the other hair colors are. Let's see. There's things changing. I wonder if, yeah, let's see something for a second. The headgear isn't, the rabbit headgear is not changing. I was just kind of curious if these colors, let's see, default, we're changing the color to shades. No, they're not. Okay. Let me see. Don't want to mess up what I had there. And see, this is the reason why you could wind up running across various different befuddlements, because you're experimenting, you're clicking around, you're like, oh, maybe I want to do it like this, maybe I might want to do it like that, and all of a sudden, you know, you have some selection of stuff, and you go to test out the emote, you're seeing stuff that doesn't make sense and doesn't add up. Just realize you want to make sure you go into your loadout before you test whatever you're dealing, clear the memory, and then go back in to what you're dealing with and come out. Now, if you close the game out and come back in, it's still going to remember, it's still going to have everything correct. It's just that when you go flopping around, experimenting and switching in and out of trying to do different things, that the game I'm guessing it's not necessarily intended. You need to clear the memory so that you can really see what your intended results really are. But again, you might come in and have these weird situations and be like, well, why is it the colors? What the heck? Make sure you switch off the default to actually get what you want to see. Error, which you may not. So I want to do that for this here. And to be honest with you, oh, I was sitting here going, I thought his hair color was different. It's like, that's right, I experimented with that. I actually kind of liked, so I hadn't even really seen this. I hadn't really tried it out for myself. I knew it was there, but I didn't even put the rabbit ears on Amir. That's just cool. That's just cool. Especially the way they come in with the skin. It's hard to even know that they don't belong there. For whatever reason, you might want to be role-playing or something, or just like the style. But so yeah, but he, even though you have that, like I said, he doesn't have prime parts like Umbra or Vira, for example, that you can toggle on and off, but you do have auxiliaries that you can enjoy. Let's see, when you go to, like I said, Eleanor, she unfortunately doesn't have any toggleable prime parts listed in, and there's no extra auxiliary pieces attached to her. Let's see, and AOI mag type. It's interesting how these leather pieces on her cannot be recolored, even with the toggling the
time to crush
things on or
something.
off to verify the point. So, like I said, these are the base colors of the outfit, and then the attachments, which are the other colors for the outfit. Nothing changes the leather on the holster in the center here and here, and that's I don't know why that's the case. That should be recolorable, and there's no other option. Trust me, I tested it out. That might hypothetically give you a different result. So like I randomized the colors here for her hair, for example. It's not giving me anything for the holster straps. Sigils, for example, like, well, maybe it's looking at it as a sigil or some shit. It's not seeing it that isn't anything either. You can put colors on your sigils that you could equip, but there's no sigils equipped, and that's the reason why, like, if you don't have attachments equipped and you go change colors, you might not think that something needs to be changed. So that's a sigil. So like I said, there's nothing here that changes the color of the holsters. Syandana even, like, Syandanas are things you can place on the back of characters. That, see here, you have all kinds of things, backpacks basically, but they call them Syandanas in Warframe. There's nothing changed in the color of that situation, of those leather straps. So that that would be nice if you could change that color. Hey, DE, please. Maybe they might do another pass and adjust that. And again, there's no extra attachments, no extra auxiliary for Mag Prime. So we did. Oh yeah, Trinity is the other. Lettie. She's similar to Mag. There's no extra goodies for her, even in attachments as far as auxiliary or Prime details that you can toggle on and off for Mag Prime. Lettie. But again, like all the things that we discussed prior apply to her as well. And let's see here. We showed Site-09. We showed Mag. Showed Eleanor. Showed Trinity. Showed Arthur. And we show Vault. So yeah, that's everybody. As far as options or outstanding circumstances and variances, to me, Umbra, using Umbra with Arthur has the most options. It's well, no, not technically. It's balanced. He has the prime part details you can toggle on and off. Amir has the glasses he can toggle on and off. Site-09 has the hat he can toggle on and off. But the sunglasses and the hat versus the loincloth and the prime parts, they like this extra growth. The sunglasses are cool. The hat's sweet. There ain't nothing gonna top this loincloth. Like, come on now. But right now, for me, it hides a lot of detail that I really want to enjoy. But yeah, like I said, so for me, I'm going to be rocking for the series this peculiarity in how I can seemingly switch places with who's prime or who's the main character in the scene, so to speak, versus the one that's being transformed into. Because I can take advantage of the animation all day like this, and we ain't going back.
Well,
you know what I'm saying, to this other version until we change instances, which, like I said, I can just tie into my role playing as I enjoy leveling up the hex to get to the finale of the hex quest. So I'll explain little details about the role play of that, which is going to be cool.
Right here.
Now, here's another way you can change back into your who's prime by transference this way. Excuse me, not change back, but show who's prime when you transfer out, because that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Watch this. I'm now back into author of this timeline. Let's put it that way. A little sneak peek of this happenstance. But this,
Get some rest. You must be chin strapped.
that author is the one of a different circumstance. And I'll do this. Fuck with your head a little bit, because this is some wild ass shit they got going on with this, man. So I can go to my armory because we're at this relay station, and like, when you do this, you can go ahead and you can actually select other things in here. But this is cool temporal prime ephemera that came with my brain. I forgot the time manipulating Warframe. Brain, help me out. Brain. See if I can find it real quick. But it's an interesting emote that came with the Prime access for her I'm not. Ooh, that's bugging me about her name. Protea. There we go. Protea. Either way, it does create an interesting distortional effect to the situation. So you know, this one is in a paradox.
God, that feels weird. Here we go.
But this one isn't. This kind of shit you can do with this motherfucker. Like, yo, DE, yo, the Protoframe skins. Like, I know this video is a little longer than intended. People may not want to sit through. Like, you wrap it up, be more concise. I'm sorry, but it's like things have come together in a very odd way to understand what's come about, and I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't go through this process. An explanation of what you can kind of fashion frame and role play into with what's going on. And like I said, we can still have the same thing if they just do a little iron over, you know what I'm saying, and allow us to select which proto frame and customizations we have, and we could do this automatically. But you can't do this unless you have a Gemini skin in each one of your presets. And you know, if you're thinking, is it pulling off of this one? Well, not assigned in. Hold on, let's see. Let's do this. All right, so yeah, I'm going to transform into my default author, or rather, he's going to replace my current Warframe.
Ready to ride.
See, it's not pulling off of that second one. This is all on the game. It's just looking at the emote and the fact that this is attached to an Excalibur of whatever type. Excalibur Prime if you're a founder, regular Excalibur Umbra.
Get some rest. You must be chin strapped.
Now here's the other particular that I almost forgot, but it's like I gotta encounter these situations. Unfortunately, remember, if you're in an instance where for Umbra and for every other Warframe that doesn't move around autonomously, you won't know this as easily. But for Umbra, he can move around on his own. Because I'm in an instance where Umbra is not going to move around on his own, Off is going to be conscious. He can still talk to you. And he's going to be blinking and shit. Okay, just like Umbra. He's still, you know, creepy. But you notice that I did not turn back into... I did not... you don't see standing there the one that's supposed to be Prime. The one that's distorted in time. Okay? Because he can't move around. He doesn't have autonomy. Prime doesn't have... The true Prime that's in the loadout doesn't have autonomy. The one who's taking his place, you know what I'm saying, is going to be static here. Because he doesn't have true autonomy the way the true Prime has. But he's replaced him. So let me show you that again. So like I said, I can't change back to author. I mean, what I've given the title
adventure are we on today?
Primary or first. What the loadout sees as your Warframe, or in this situation, Protoframe, Excalibur, Umbra, Yeah, Protoframe author Excalibur Umbra. Distorted through time. It's replaced by a 1999 permanent version to set things right. It's only going to go back to that if I change instances. But now, see, I'm in an instance that where, like, if I come out, it's like a mission. This is like being in a mission. Umbra can move around on his own. So, because I haven't made the switch, because the one that's permanent in 1999, the default, just trying to give you an understanding of how you can play with this idea and what's happening when you have all your presets with these Gemini skins. Like, it's just... Right, so as a Tenno, you can't make the switch. That's another point, too. You can't use any of the emotes. Only as one of the characters. And like I said, you can take advantage of all the other emotes without actually making a switch. You know, and you go right into one versus another. But when you make the switch with all presets having...
Shall we begin?
The Gemini skin is going to give you a default version with its own, you know, with the first animations set that it's going to have, which typically would be the noble one. But for Excalibur Umbra, when the fact that he has autonomy, and you're in an instance where it has that autonomy to move around, like in a mission or a relay.
Give us a yell when you're
and
ready.
or like the mall, anywhere where you could transfer out with your Tenno, like here or the Zaraman, for example, and you're what the loadout sees as the correct Protoframe or Warframe is going to show, which to me is dope. It's like another layer or another manner in which you could role play this situation, depending on how you know, like I said, your imagination and creativity.
Ready and waiting.
But realize you're not going to, without transference,
Calling on me.
he becomes dominant until you actually leave an instance, or if you have, like in this case, access to your, like, even fast travel is not changing your instance. But yeah, if you go to your arsenal and you come back out, it swaps. But there's another situation, you know, well, it swaps back to your original, like I said. And then in which case, like I said, if you wanted to go back for whatever reason, that's when you swap back. But that's, you know, if you have access to the arsenal, that's how you can go back to what is the preset for it. And another situation for people who do like to do things with the Captura, where you know, you're in these, you know, the tile sets that is in Warframe, you can get these free tile sets. Not free, but you can earn them in game. You're rewarded, you know, watching Twitch or whatever. But you can come into these environments almost like a practice area or whatever. You have full access to your abilities and your armory, your arsenal. You know, you can. It's like being live in game in a mission, in its setting and lighting, without really being there. And you know, you have the full expanse of the environment too, and whatever NPCs, if any, are attached, as well.
Tenno,
you know, like
our work goes on.
for example, here's Lloyd. Now I like to use the codex, the synthesis scanner. I like to click on that, and that way you don't have to walk around with a weapon on all the time, or him holding a weapon. Little role-playing pro tip. But yeah, your NPCs will be here and everything else. So the point I was trying to make earlier is that if you wanted to do some Captura photo ops and you wanted to work with the Proto Armor skin, Protoframe skin, and what have you, like it's from the prequel to Lotus Eaters. This environment was there before going into the 1999 quest, and you can hear the phone ringing too. That's cool. I don't remember that always being there, but it is now. Awesome. So like I said, if you transform into the situation and you're going for that default look, and you have all your presets hooked up with it, so that it's you have this going on. And like I said, the other way, and let me conclude with this point. And then you go to try to change back again. You can't, even in Captura, but you can get back to the form by going to your arsenal, but this time you need to actually switch loadouts, or just double click on your current loadout, because like even in Captura, going into inventory, really arsenal doesn't change instances in the way that this is. Capture is loaded up. You're still in your ship technically, in a way. This is like a virtual reality kind of thing, so to speak. I don't know. Bottom line is, it doesn't change instances. What you have to do is go to your arsenal, just go into your build or whatever. I can just double click on it. This seems to be reliable to get you back, clear the memory, and you're back to this state, whichever was your main. And I just want to double check here. So like I said, you can let me just check, make sure arsenal. Right. So like I said, this is how you can get to the default using a customized version, and similar to the way you would see the default version if there were no customized options in your presets for a Gemini skin. So I hope that explanation was sound enough there. But yeah, I'll show you. So yeah, like I said, just to reiterate, and then we'll go ahead and close it out here, and I'll get in line for my son when he wakes up. And I do really hope that this has really helped everybody. So like I said, if you're running around with a Warframe, you don't have a skin in your presets, and you hit it, you're going to get the default as well. Just like I said, that's another way
Just to stretch my legs
to run it and role play it. Like I said, no animation set all the way. But the thing is that unlike the other version, when you have all your loadout slots with it, you can change back and forth freely. But realize, they're going to switch back. They're going to switch back to what the preset or the loadout regards as primary, or what's set as the Warframe. So if I leave the Captura, it should change what it thinks to be is the instance. It did. So now we're back at the mall. So like I said, either way you go, and however you decide to want to role play with the situation, it's you can get similar results. It's just depending on how you want to see that result manifest, and in which way you want to play around with the role play of it.
So,
but
gloves on or off?
This is the simplest version of the point of any of sort of say the role play therein, is to switch between the Warframe and the customized skin. If that's what you want, if that's what you like to do. It's just that, like I said, unfortunately, we can't have this and switch to that. It can only be this to this, or this to that, or this to that. But you can't have two of them in your presets to get this to that, or to get to this to that. Just one. So yeah, that got us. That's the bit long and short of it. It take me a second to go ahead and do everything that's necessary to put in some timestamps. It's going to be a busy day and night. Hopefully, I can start doing that this evening and complete that. Hopefully, this has been helpful. Definitely went longer than I thought it was going to be, but damn, it's like as soon as I think I got it all figured out, oh yeah, there's this other little point. Oh, now I understand that nuance to why I was seeing that trippy ass result. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, like I said, I could choose this one. You can, like I said, whatever your preset is selected for that build is the one that the game's going to respect as primary when it comes to the character. Right. So yeah, so if I did this one and say this is the one that's lost in time or whatever, he's got the Tenno 2024 backpack that we got for the digital experience, or just being a part of buying a ticket for TennoCon. It's tied to the whole 1999 lore and what have you, and you're like, oh, here's some default offer.
My sword is yours.
But like I said, in this aspect, because it's similar to a mission, when you transfer out, you get that one. Again, can't come out of it unless you change an instance.
Arthur James Nightingale, reporting for duty.
Or go to your inventory. And I want to see something here, and I'll show. Let me show you what happens standardly with a Warframe when you transfer out. And again, with this whole using the default situation. Hold on. In fact, that you won't necessarily be able to tell, but you'll see the physical difference when you transfer out, as far as who's prime in regard to what the game's thinking is prime. If you have a primary, as far as if you have Eleanor skins or the Gemini skins in each slot. So let me show you. So yeah, so they're all there. We're going to go to the default. Just damn it. See, now I'm getting unexpected results because I didn't clear out the memory.
One brief and somewhat
Oh, no.
jaunt through space and time later.
Right. Hold on. Because we're going from... Hold on. Yeah, I signed the skin in each one. Okay, right. Like I said, just save yourself the headache. It's an extra step, mind you, but clear the memory of whatever it, clear it of whatever it thinks it's holding on to do that shit, because that will confuse the fuck out of you. Because it's not going to maintain itself. Like, even if it is a result that you want to play with or role play with, it's not a reliable result as to what you can expect from these Protoframe skins. And depending on how immersive you want to be with the role playing you want to do, that's gonna fuck with you. It would even fuck with me. It would mess with me basically. And again, so like I said, the default becomes permanent in a way of itself until an instance changes, or the game sees an instance change, and see how she's still the same. So like I said, it's I'll go into the arsenal, come out again. If you transfer out before using the emote, she'll stay as she is. So yeah, that's what's up with the quirkiness, the variations in regard to dealing with that. So yeah, so very happy to have clarity about how to take advantage of using these skins, the different circumstances they're in. I'm gonna do my very best to go ahead and get the timestamps up for this. It'd probably be nice if I could get the time to do a consolidated version of this, but I can't promise just yet. There's a lot on the plate in the holidays. My son, it's a lot. So understand that even putting in the timestamps for this is going to take me a considerable amount to make sure that they're accurate and there for everybody in a proper way, which can help navigate through the situation quite quickly as to what your point of interests are. I'd really like to hope I can get a consolidated version of this together sometime in the near future. It is something I would like to do, because I'm very impressed with the skins and everything that can be accomplished with them. It's super cool, super cool. So if there are any questions, please definitely put them in the comments. And I mean, hopefully sometime soon I'll be. Hold on, keep looking for this fast travel system. The way to get set up is still a little new for me, but it's super cool they put it in. It's just kind of putting things back so I didn't forget what I had going on. So yeah, oh, that's not signed in. God damn it. That's the also too thinking in my head, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I think that's it. So thank you all for your patience in the manner of which you're trying to go through all the details on things. I'm gonna listen to it, comb through it, but I believe I got everything consolidated in the beginning of the video. That's another reason why I may not have to make an extended version, because it's like maybe 2 or 3 other points that weren't consolidated with it that I recalled and also to discovered or associated together in a certain particular way. So I think this might hopefully work as a standalone. Like I said, it's just time, and I want to try to make an advancement on things, as well as make the point to cover the importance of various different topics. And I want to get on with this series I'm trying to do for the channel, where we get through 1999 syndicate raising and get to the quest finale. Wow. So yes. So thank you all for viewing. I will be back soon. Take care and enjoy.